ISE, we're here at the Shure Booth, which is always nice. We stepped away from our own booth for a second just to come into the Shure, which is a big partner of us in the audio space. This is a nice environment.
Listen, Shure has unbelievable audio quality, and they're a partner of Teams.
Right.
That's the thing, is that we've got certified devices with Shure that work with Teams rooms. So when you think about your Teams rooms and you think about, all right, I want quality audio, what better than to think about Shure? Mm-hmm. And they're a great partner of ours. You know, the P300, different things like that. You don't need that expertise to sort of do things. This is the kind of thing where you can actually set it up, hit a button, it'll calibrate the room, and it goes through. You know, you and I are sitting here on mic. We've got Andrew Higgs here as well.
Howdy.
You know, we're in a small booth right now, but it's unbelievable what's going on around us.
Yeah.
And yet we've got great audio to pick this up.
Fantastic audio. I actually want to echo that statement about the P300. How easy it is and how complementary it is to any Teams room solution. And especially for integrators, you know, one of the things that they're challenged with is configuring audio in meeting spaces. And audio is probably the most important thing in any meeting space.
It is the most important thing. That's the thing. We can have a meeting without video.
Absolutely.
We can't have a meeting without
audio. And that's the secret sauce, right? And there's no better product than obviously having the ability to configure these devices with a couple of presses of the buttons and get that exceptional experience with a Shure solution.
Yeah, and now we are at the booth, and they've got a whole bunch of products out.
This is like a mini city that they have built here. It's nice.
Right, it's unbelievable. They invited us to sort of here to talk about Teams rooms, to talk about the partner with Microsoft, which is tremendous. But yeah, I'm really impressed at everything that they have here.
Yeah, it's looking really good. The show is already starting to get pretty busy. It's still quite early. It's only 11 a.m. Jimmy slept in this morning. We're going to be mentioning that all throughout the show this week.
All throughout the day, right?
Yeah, but it's already quite busy. I think they're saying that this is going to be the biggest ISE to date. I think they're always saying that for every show. I'm quite excited. What are you looking most forward to, Higgsy, these next few days?
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to definitely checking out what the solutions are on offer and what our OEMs are doing to drive innovation and AI and how they're weaving that story into a lot of their meeting room solutions. But ultimately for me, it's the seeing partners and actually building connections face to face. I mean,
like we're doing here.
Yeah, like we're doing right now.
Correct.
I mean, to be fair, like you think about it, the opportunities that we've ever had to do this in person, the three of us, it's never happened before. This is the first time. Yeah.
It's the first time, and we're also posting on social. Shure was nice enough to actually invite us to this booth so we could do an impromptu session like this and be able to do it. I mean, you know, they've got amazing devices for your home office as well as the corporate
as well.
So everything is Teams certified. Everything is working into the system. And like we said, you need the audio to go with the video.
So Michelle, we've been talking about the great solutions of Shure and everything. We can't ignore the fact that we've made some announcements at Ignite about intelligent audio and being able to make sure that everyone can be heard and identified in the meeting space. I mean, how excited are you about this announcement that solutions such as Shure and any other Teams room solution is able to identify people through speaker?
So people first were very limited to just a couple of devices that were able to bring intelligent audio into a meeting room. And now with this being more available, it's very exciting. Also, and we haven't mentioned this word yet, but we will now, we do it all the time, bringing Copilot into the meeting room, I think is one of the most exciting things that we've seen in our space. So, and plus also making good audio more accessible. Because to your point, like you said earlier, I think if a room fails, it fails with the audio experience.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Because audio I think it's the most difficult piece to take care of in a room.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, it's the most important one. So seeing more partners like Shure coming into this space and being able to come into this space, I think is a very important step.
And we talked about it before, walking into ISE and just seeing the Microsoft logo in everybody's booth.
Yeah.
You know, I've been to all 20 of ISEs at this point and everything else, and seeing that progression of Microsoft into the meeting room. The idea of the meeting room is difficult. I mean, rooms are hard. They're very hard to do. But with partners like Shure, with partners like Microsoft, we can actually overcome a lot of those challenges inside of the meeting room, so that when you walk into the room, you hit the button, and all the technology around the room is engaged. Yeah. And you don't have to worry about it. There's none of this walking into a room, plugging in, and doing different things. All the technology is automatically integrated, and that's really what simplicity means. And partners like Shure really embrace that and allow the Teams room to work correctly.
Do you see any big differences compared to this region and Australia, or the full APAC region, when it comes to making rooms more accessible for different people, good experiences more accessible for people. How important is that in your side of the world?
Yeah, absolutely. It's critical to the success of any meeting space is making sure that anyone can walk into the room and have their identity. You know, the identity is so important, both visually and auditively as well. So the fact that, you know, with Microsoft Teams rooms and with the partnership with Shure, you know, you think about their ceiling microphones and how powerful they are. The ceiling tile microphones is one of my favorites from Shure because of just the sheer range on the size of the room that it caters for. Everything from small rooms all the way up to those large rooms. It's really the one device that you need to be able to make sure that everyone can be heard. So identity in meetings is definitely one of those things that is critical for our partners and also our customers in the Asia region, as I'm sure it is globally as well. But definitely finding that for systems integrators, when they want a device to be to reduce their deployment times, to reduce their efforts that are required to get rooms up and running and sounding great, there's no better way to do it than that P300 USB connected to a Teams Rooms device.
So how is this making it easier? So we have the Pro AV community, right? And I think they're already doing a phenomenal job, especially with these boardrooms that look amazing. But now we're seeing that actually a big opportunity for our partners is in the small and medium-sized room. Right, and I think also in the medium-sized room, audio will continue to be super important and will be pretty difficult. So how easy do you think it is now going to be for those non-Pro AV partners to come into this space and then leverage the opportunity that's there?
I mean, let's just talk a little bit about why Shure is a great partner of ours. You know, you talked about the ceiling tile that actually has the microphones and the speakers inside of it. That's a great opportunity. But what happens when you need to get that mic closer? I mean, we're sitting here today, and we have these mics right in front of our faces because it's a loud environment. You know, audio on its core is what? It's the idea of picking up moving air, right? And as that microphone goes
Which
further,
is crazy, by the way.
When the microphone goes further away from your voice or that moving air, it becomes more and more difficult to actually pick it up intelligently. So you do need the opportunity as a partner to sort of say, all right, when there's a boardroom or a Congress hall or everybody's around and everything else, what if you do need table microphones? What if you do need sort of sound reinforcement? And having a company like Shure that's done this for years and done the best at it, and having those opportunities, like you said, the P300 can actually be a mix of ceiling tiles, desk microphones, all of that. That's where Shure partners with our Windows providers and actually a lot of the Android devices as well, and allows them to actually be used and expandable in a way that really other partners just don't have. That's why Shure is an important part of this partner community for us to be able to deliver all those solutions.
So Higgsy, if you look at, so I know a couple of partners in your region have built extremely smart and futuristic tools and solutions to make it easier for a partner to understand how to do audio in a room. Right? What are you seeing in this space in regards to those solutions that are currently being built in things like VR?
Yeah, well, VR, it's really interesting. We've got a partner in the Asia region which is doing a fantastic job at leveraging VR to be able to showcase how a room needs to be configured, where they're bringing the customer into the room and the customer is sharing photos of their meeting space, building these VR environments, and you can equip those spaces with Shure solutions and see how the beam forming works, how audio is bouncing off walls, understanding what furniture and audio's acoustic tiling that's required, and really building these virtual spaces, and then basically giving the customer a bill of materials, and they've been able to witness in real time what this meeting room is going to look like. And so there's no questions, there's no unsurety of whether or not this meeting room is going to work for them. You know, they can build this spec and grab an awesome experience for these customers. So I definitely think there's a future for VR in room design as well.
100%, yeah, and I love that. We have another special guest. We have Matt here, who looks like a deer in the headlights right now. Like, why did you
like you just called him in, right?
I'm going to be honest, I haven't been paying attention to what you guys have been talking about, so I'm jumping into this conversation.
It's all good. We were just speaking about the partnership with Shure and the importance of audio. So you're with Microsoft now, but you used to be a Microsoft customer.
Yes.
What was your biggest struggle when it comes to getting good audio in the room, and how did you solve that?
So the biggest struggle in just getting good audio in any conference room, honestly, is just trying to figure out who's saying what. and making sure that you're only picking up what that person is saying and not all the background noise around you at the same time, especially with ceiling mics. We had such a challenge with ceiling mics in my last organization of just, you put the mics in and then you hear people shuffling papers in the back of the room, someone opening and closing doors, things like that. Adding in Shure's mics and adding in all of that made it so that you only picked up who and what someone was saying in the room and not all the background noise at the same time. So that's honestly how we solved the problem.
And that's really important in this day and age as we speak about Copilot, because it's not only important what is said, it's important who said it, because the AI actually has to be able to pick up all of that from everybody that's inside of the room.
Yeah, coming back to that point I made before about identity in meetings, and it's going to become more and more important for customers moving forward. Again, those that are using Copilot or Intelligent Recap with Teams Premium, you need to be able to identify who said what, rather than just having the meeting room doing all the talking. Who in the meeting room is actually talking?
Matt, can you talk a little bit about the stuff that we're doing to make voice isolation better within the Teams and Teams Rooms ecosystem?
Within Teams Rooms or within the Teams desktop?
I think it's both.
It's both. It's that idea that you register your voice.
I wasn't asking you. I was asking Matt. I know.
Jimmy's had a coffee.
No,
Jimmy's only on one cappuccino so
Jimmy
far.
slept
Right?
in, but
But yeah, the whole concept of registering your voice so that Teams can identify you both when you're sitting at your desk, when you're sitting at home talking, so that if somebody else walks into your office when you're at home talking, they don't get picked up into that Teams meeting at all. The same technology is then leveraged for the conference rooms to know who's saying what in that meeting room. Yeah. Going back to the Copilot conversation, knowing who says what is really, really key, because in that transcription, in that all the feedback and stuff from Copilot afterwards of, hey, who said what? And, was it conference room A said that Jimmy was going to go do this? Or was it Matt that said Jimmy was going to go do this?
Yep.
And have an accurate intake of what those action items were when the meeting's over.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And then the Teams app itself. So we're doing a lot of, we just released something great with voice isolation. And I think we all done a couple of demos. How does that, if you can even speak on it, how does that work, right? How do you filter out voice from papers or somebody touching the table all the time?
So it's the magic of AI, Michelle.
really what it is, it's patterns.
I didn't ask you.
Oh, I know.
You didn't like my AI answer? I mean, come on. At the end of the day, the reality is there's a whole bunch of different algorithms that have been written, and we've been continuously improving that algorithm over time to filter out different pieces of it. And, you start at a very basic level of, a floor and a ceiling and cut out noises above and beyond that. But then how do you actually filter out someone else's voice? And how do you know, oh, Matt's saying this and I'm identifying Matt's voice, but at the same time now we've gotten to the point where I can have music playing in the background while I'm on a Teams meeting and you can't hear that music and you only hear my voice.
That's so impressive. I remember when we started doing those tests. I have music jamming in the background, and you can pick that up. You wanted to say something, Jimmy? I think you wanted to say something.
I was going to say, this sounds super exciting for like call centers, right? Where you've got multiple people talking all in the same room together. And what does this mean for them? It means that they can be heard. The far end doesn't hear 17 other people around them talking. It means that using voice isolation, that they're clear and can hear into the far end.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love it.
Listen, ISE is great. It's great to see all these products in action. It's great to be at the Shure booth. I'm really excited for our partnership. I'm excited for the future that we have with partners together. And I'm excited for Teams Room. Like I said, 20 years. It's been incredible.
It's been incredible. It's been fun. Thanks to Shure for having us here at the booth today. It's been good fun. I think we need to do a tour, and then we need to walk around, and then we need to go to our next session.
Thanks everyone.
We'll catch you later.
Have a good one.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Catch you later.
Yeah.